fans with us today. They are two of the nicest, coolest, sweetest people in the outlaw figure eight media world. Coming to us from Columbus, Indiana. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Aaron and Jacob Brown. It's CrossOver Traffic. Thank you guys
Hey,
so much for coming on. As you all know, Aaron and Jacob here are two of my good friends who have been putting on some very, very cool stuff there on their platform. And this is how Easy Bees has been keeping up with some of those speed drum, sports drum, and Painesville races over there on the east side or the East Coast side of things here. And today we are bringing them on the Ease and Bees podcast to learn a little bit about them, have a little bit of fun, and then, as always, we're going to turn the tables over to them and let them promote themselves and let them know where you can find them at. Are you guys ready to jump right in?
Let's go.
yeah, let's go.
Right. To all the fans and listeners out there, guys, how did you guys get your start with the CrossOver Traffic?
Well, it's actually an idea that I have had brewing, probably since 2015 or so. I used to be a delivery driver, so driving around by myself all day, I'd have really stupid ideas in my head, and I'd start talking to myself. And it got to the point where I finally talked to myself enough to where I was pretty confident that I could put out a product that was worth sharing with the world, and that turned out to be right. So I'm glad that I was right on that front. But yeah, it started in my own mind.
Nice. Now, similar to something like this here at the Easy Bees, of course, this started back in the pandemic when, the kids had to stay at home. And I, being a sports nut, jumped into this thing 2 feet. And here we are almost going into my 4th season. But what I got to say about these guys here is if you haven't seen, you need to check them out there on their platform. Each and every time they're at the track and they're allowed to be able to share the footage they can. Aaron brings some awesome footage when Jacob can't be there, obviously. But it brings you just like you're right there at the track. And that's one of our favorite things here at the E's and B's, 1,600 miles away. I greatly miss that kind of racing. We don't get it very often out here. But when I get a chance to watch this, it definitely makes me feel like home. And that's definitely one thing we want to shine a light on. If you guys do not or have not seen this, make sure you get a chance. Go follow CrossOver Traffic. See what we're talking about. I got to ask these guys, what's your favorite thing about figure eight racing?
Oh gosh,
I'll
that
let you
that crossover action. I mean, that's like you don't get that at any other race besides figure eight racing. So it's just intense, and it's crazy how talented these guys are. Like, I don't. I would never be able to do it myself. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't even let him do it. Like, I don't know how these wives and kids and moms watch their sons do it. That's crazy. But yeah, it's just they're very talented. They know when to let up on the gas. They know when to push on the gas. They know, how to get around each other. So it's just the talent in the sport is amazing. The drivers are all amazing. Like you've seen interviews that we've done with them. They're all so nice and willing to talk with us, and yeah, it's just a really cool sport. So
for me, it's everything that she said, but then it's also so everything kind of comes together in its own little glorious fashion in figure eight racing, and it's really unique in motorsports. I mean, she'll tell you I love watching monster trucks. I'm always watching monster trucks, and really any kind of motorsports I can get my eyes onto, I'm watching it. But there is absolutely nothing like a figure eight race. And there's absolutely nothing like a figure eight race at the speedrome in specific. I mean, there's just something so special about everything coming together in a perfect storm. Like she said, the drivers are so talented. The fans really make it too. And when the house is packed, like it was last night, we weren't there, but it was such a packed house. I could only imagine that was probably one of the craziest figure eights of the year, just because of how the fans made it feel.
Hmm.
The crowd tension is it comes together with the on track product, and it produces something unlike anything else in motorsports.
And
It is awesome.
I can 100% agree with you guys there. It's nothing like it. We've heard Ben, Mark, Matt, Donnie, all here on the E's and B's tell us, when that music gets you pumped up at the beginning, it's the crowd out there for those guys. When they can see you and the beginning of that race and they're waving to them, it's just something you can't explain to other people out there. And that's why we love to shine the light on it. Let me ask you guys this one, though. Let's change gears a little bit. If you could change one rule about outlaw figure eight racing, what would you change?
The wing rule. So I don't. You being from Anderson, you probably remember when they had the big billboards, the big sideboards on there. That was my absolute favorite. I can't get enough of that. And in fact, we have one of our new sponsors just came on board, and he said he could build us really anything we wanted, outlaw figure eight style, and
a model, not the actual car.
and I'm wanting him, I think, to build a car with the big sideboards and the big roof wings. That's my favorite. I know they're expensive, and I know they probably don't do much, but damn, do they look cool.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing that stands out, especially out here on the West Coast. You don't see stuff like that. And going back to the earlier days, it was just something that you wanted to know more about, but it definitely, like you said, was the coolest thing out there looking.
It's nothing like it. There's nothing like an outlaw figure eight car, an airplane mode, as I call it. So
absolutely. All right, let's switch gears here, get to some of the famous E's and B's questions. Make sure you guys are checking us out each and every Friday, wherever you listen to your podcast at, or follow us over there at easeandb's.org. Check out the merch page, all that good stuff. Let me ask you, Aaron and Jacob, how about this? You're having breakfast with any celebrity or racer out there. Who are you having it with, and what are you guys having?
I'll let you go first again.
So I guess since we're talking about racing, we'll stick with racing. I would have breakfast with Doodle Ferris.
All right. Dang it, Doodle.
Yeah, dang it, Doodle. That'd be such a fun meal to have.
All right.
And I personally like biscuits and gravy.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Traditional. Okay.
Please, yeah.
Jacob, how about you?
So I'm gonna stick with the racing theme, but I'm gonna get out of the figure eight racing theme for a minute.
Okay.
Since we live in Columbus and we're from the area, I would have breakfast with Tony Stewart in a heartbeat.
Awesome. Old Smoke, absolutely. And what did you guys have on that plate?
Man.
We go to Blackerby's, the hanger.
Yeah, either Blackerby's, which is a local restaurant here in the airport in Columbus, or Jill's Diner, also a local spot here in Columbus. Or there's also the tried and true Waffle House, and that's because
there you go. Shout out to those. The Waffle House, always the fallback for sure. Always the fallback. How about this one? Here's a little fancy one for you. If you guys could have a superpower, what power would you have?
I would like to be invisible, because we could go back in the pits and listen to all the inside conversations.
I like it.
All the little drama. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. How about you?
It'd be super speed for me.
Super speed. Oh,
kind of for the same reason, to just be able to get around everywhere, like whenever I want to, just like that.
I mean, he does have super speed on like in Painesville. He was going back and forth for the pits, and he basically does have super speed.
if anybody saw me at Painesville, yeah, that's what
awesome.
We
do. Awesome. All right, one more fun one for you here before we get back to a little bit of racing. How about this? If you guys could have some intro music for, say, either your appearance for the crossover traffic, or you're grabbing or getting in a race car and heading out on the track, what entrance theme would you guys play?
What's the one they used to play for the drivers?
I was gonna say Thunderstruck.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Thunderstruck. Yeah, I agree with that.
But I'm just spoiled because of Speedrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to go with that one. And when you think of racing, that's one of the first ones that pops in your heads. Now let's talk some more about racing. We know this coming up this weekend. That's right. Tomorrow we're gonna have two, count them, folks, not one, but two bad to the bone outlaw figure eight races going on at the very same time. That's right. We're talking about the 43rd annual Sonny Thompson Memorial Race there at the Speedrome, and we're gonna be having the second annual outlaw figure eight race here at Colorado National Speedway. I'm going to turn the tables over here to Jacob and Aaron. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So I don't really know much about Colorado. I know that it's a half mile, and I know that the place is badass fast. That's about all I know about it. I really want to get out there at some point. Obviously, it's an expensive trip, and this year the timing kind of wasn't right. Like you said, with the Sonny Thompson, that's a really big race for us. And we actually have other things going on this weekend, so we're not actually going to be able to make the Sonny Thompson, I don't think, unless some cards fall our way. But yeah, with a big race here, I would expect the heavy hitters that are going to be here here in Indy are going to be, they're going to be hungry, because I know there's a couple of guys, Eddie Van Meter and Austin, are headed out to Colorado. So I know that, that's two potential winners, and last week's winner off the table. So those guys are all going to be kind of chomping at the bit to get out there. And of course, you're going to have all your Washington guys. I know Rod Proctor from California is making the trip out there to Colorado. You got the two Colorado guys, or
Wall
three
brothers. Shout out to the Wall brothers, Wall to Wall Racing, Chris Cox. Those guys, Team Hilton and Abeda will be helping out. It's going to be pretty interesting this year for sure out here. Like you said, sending only just a couple. We know it's very hard. It's a long haul. It's a lot of money. And I've said it for 2 years now. There's got to be more on the table for these guys from Indiana and further out to be coming this far, to race. It's a bad, fast track, very dangerous. And definitely, yeah, it would be very fun to see those guys out here. But I got to keep on my foot, or keep on the same statement and say, until they put more money on that table, it's going to be hard to get those guys to travel. Now, I'm glad Austin Tony and Eddie Van Meter are making that trip. It's going to be very interesting to see for these guys locally here how fast they can pick up, because we know those two drivers are very good and will pick that track up in a heartbeat and be hard to beat. So very interesting stuff. Like I said, wall-to-wall racing. Keep your eyes out for them. They've got some new stuff coming, and Chris Cox may be helping out. Team of Beta and Hilton, the helpers there. So cool stuff here in Colorado. Like you said, a lot of good stuff at home, though. A lot of changing. We've had different winners, it seems, repetitively there at the Speedrome. So very cool stuff. Before we get off of this topic here, though, do you have any predictions?
I'm going to go ahead and predict Eddie again for Colorado. He came last year, and Craig was dominant until the intersection came into play, which was super unfortunate. And I'm glad Craig is okay and he's back to racing. Obviously, he got that win in Payne.
A big win, yeah.
As redemption, and I'm so happy for him. I know he was ear to ear after that race. We met him at the hotel, and he was absolutely just ear to ear. He told me he still couldn't even believe it. So, that's awesome for Craig. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Eddie. Eddie's bad fast, dude, and he doesn't care. He'll rough you up, and he won't ask for apologies about it. That's always been Eddie's style. Yep. And I think it's going to be super hard to beat. But I think another person you're going to have to watch out for is Chris Cox and all those guys that come out there and race every week
in, week out. Yep.
Those guys have had an opportunity to, they've had those outlaws now for a good while. I'm sure they've taken them out there and made some notes, and That's the home
It'll be
track.
interesting. I hope for a good car count. That's what will be the difference maker, I think, for Eddie and Austin in order for them to even, have competition. If there's a good car count, then it might make it tough. If it's a low car count, it's going to be a runaway show. That's just the way I look at it. Well, we'll be very excited, though, to find out what does happen going down tomorrow night. Like we said, two of the baddest races you can see on a Saturday. We got the 43rd annual Sonny Thompson Memorial going on there at the Speedrome, and out here it's the second annual Outlaw Figure Eights at Colorado National Speedway. Before I get these guys out of here, I got just a couple questions left. I got to ask you guys, what's the goals for crossover traffic going forward?
Well, we just crossed 2,000 followers earlier this week.
Thank you.
I know I'm gonna try and get a giveaway together because I think I want to give away some tickets to the season finale, that 1 hour figure eight, just a couple weeks before 3 hour.
Yeah.
Get some people out there, get their feet wet that have never seen this stuff. Awesome. But I need to get with a couple of parties first to see if I can get that together.
Jacob just switched to day shift, so he's going to be able to put articles out like he did last year more. So
yeah, that's another goal of mine is now I did work for the Speedrome. In all clarity, I was running their streaming for them, which is why coverage kind of really hit the brakes, but switching to day shift, I've now backed away from that role, just so I can have the freedom I need at the racetrack to leave if I need to. But as long as I'm at the racetrack, there will be coverage whenever there is. So I guess the goals is I really want our YouTube channel to take off. I put a lot of hard work into the videos that are already on there, and I have probably about 6 or 7 hours worth of footage that I need to edit up and put on there. Yeah. So
I know that pain.
We also
go ahead.
No, you're good. We also for February, we're thinking about going to Florida for the races there. So
big race. Maybe I can get you guys back in here for that. We could maybe preview that race. Hopefully that one will be another big one as long as the money's right. We know the deal there. All right, one last question here, the most famous question here on the E's and B's as we go out. Before I turn the tables over to you guys, I got to know, when it's all said and done, what do you guys want the crossover traffic legacy to be?
I would say I want people to look at us as a place where they can watch, all things figure eight, a place where we are professional. We don't, I don't know. There's some pages are, not professional and just do whatever, but we want to try to stay that way. We want people to be able to come up and talk to us and feel comfortable doing that. We've had a lot of fans say, "Are you crossover traffic?" And it's so fun. Yeah, it's so fun to do. What do you think?
I want to continue. I feel like right now we are trusted, because I personally put a lot of pride into not reporting information that I know is not 110% true, because it's the racetrack. Rumors can get around, and with the whole Florida thing, and nothing's been announced. We announced that a month ago. Right. And that's because I was 125% sure that it was happening. And now even clearing it even further, even after I vetted it so much, the more and more details I find out, I don't know why we haven't gotten this thing announced yet, but I just want to continue to be a trusted news source. I know the track owners that I've talked to believe in what we're doing, and they believe in and putting the races out there. I know Randy with Paynesville was hesitant for us to go live, and then the streaming deal that he had trying to put together, backed out. So he let us come in there and do our thing, and we ended up having like 400 people in that stream, so it was wild. But yeah, I want to continue. I want to continue to put out the best content that we possibly can. I mean, even we brought Cameron on this year and he's doing our pit reporting, and I didn't even have to tell him what to do. The dude just, it's like he's like a top. You just wind him up and you just watch him go,
just like his dad.
just like his dad. And I mean, I want to continue putting out 110% content, and I want to continue being a trusted news source because I feel like figure eight racing, especially outlaw figure eight racing, needs that.
I can agree. And I got to say this, like I said, watch it from 1,600 miles away. You guys are on the right path. You're doing the right thing. There's a reason why we brought you here today on the best breakfast wrestling and sports podcast on your Fridays. Now, tell my fans and listeners out there where they can find you at, where they can support you at before we get you out of here.
Well, first and foremost, go like CrossOver Traffic on Facebook, and go ahead and give us a follow too. Like I said, we're going to be doing a giveaway for 2,000 followers, but until we announce that giveaway, if your name's on that like and follow list, or really just the follow list is what we're going to do. But if your name's on that follow list, you're going to be in a shot to come out here and watch that 1 hour on us completely. So head out there and like our Facebook and follow us on Facebook.
YouTube.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I know like I said, I'm trying to get things going on that front, because I do really want to get into that space and eventually be able to do streams and stuff on there. So
and we recently had people ask about our Venmo and Cash App. So if you guys do want to donate anything towards us to go towards going to races, in-car cameras, batteries, all that, Jacob's Venmo is Jacob-Brown-544, and my Cash App, let me double check so I don't say the wrong thing.
And while she's checking, I do want to thank everybody for their support during the Painesville race. We had over $110 in donations to us that night, and that goes a long way. I know we got us a power bank for her phone during the races, one that'll actually keep our phone alive for 3 hours this year.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more things on there. Pit passes for 3 hours are pretty expensive, so a lot of that money is probably going to go to that. And I mean, I'm sure one of our sponsors is he helped us out last year, so I'm sure he'd be willing to help again this year. But anything helps us, guys, and this stuff isn't cheap. She's probably really ready to kill me behind that smile with how much money I've spent on this. And that's all with not new GoPros. So, but yeah, I'll let her plug her Cash App now.
Cash App is $, and it's my maiden name, so it's EMOL13, EMOLL13. And Jacob's Venmo is Jacob-Brown-544.
There you have it, folks. Like I said, two of the coolest, nicest, sweetest people in the outlaw figure eight media world. Make sure you guys go give them a follow. It's CrossOver Traffic. Hey, coming to us from Columbus, Indiana, it's Jacob and Aaron Brown. CrossOver Traffic. Thanks, guys. It's been an honor.
Yeah, thank you.